Hello. Um, I chose to talk about the Thoreau, what Thoreau wrote about John Brown. Okay, next slide. Yeah, I just thought the first thing I wanted to point out was I thought that it was pretty funny that that Thoreau goes on and on about how much he admired John Brown and what he was able to accomplish or stand for. He admired what he stood for more than. I mean, I think he thought that he accomplished maybe more than it turns out he did. But the first thing that Thoreau writes is that he thought that the waging of war was too expensive, and and that's the first thing that John Brown uh, objected to for war. He was like, no, that's too expensive. But then again, it's I guess an argument in favor of Brown because he uh, he still fought. So yeah, this slide was because well, because Thoreau mentions what Brown was able to do in Kansas, and I've heard it said that like all you could really do is just try to support your local government, or not support, but like try to get things passed or acknowledged in your local government. And I think that maybe Brown should have tried that and just kept on uh, doing the local Kansas thing. And it also leads me to like think about the fact that this whole uh, short essay written by Thoreau really reminds me of like modern times. Like it's what kept reminding me of like that's what almost every other slide is about. This is about how when Thoreau talks about how it was really hard for John Brown to recruit because he didn't want to get just anybody in his little militia army thing. I just thought that he would rather have like this is supposed to be more of a the left one was more of like a searching thing. I don't know. But anyway, but also maybe he should have been a little bit less discerning because then he lost. And then this slide was uh, because all Thoreau kept talking about how like every newspaper is just lying, and it just reminded me so much of Trump. And then what he's always saying, uh, and then I had Nat Turner and and John Brown on there because I guess because like Trump is like also like a radical shift in the government or a radical shift in like thinking for the country, but like so why do like some people admire him, some people admire them is just like uh because I guess it's just who you stand with, and it makes we stand with like Nat Turner or John Brown because just what they were against or for just makes so much sense. And then like I really uh, Thoreau was just kept hammering the government. And he said, "This is a quote from the Texas government that pretends to be Christian and crucifies a million Christ every day." And he was just really unhappy. He compared Brown to Christ in that like Brown sacrificed himself to save I forget if it was 40 or 4 million people. So to him that was like the same as there's just Thoreau railing against the White House. I'm not he he did not like the government in this. And then like this, it also just reminded me because he did talk about like how there's ills constantly throughout all of society and we just ignore them. And this reminded me of like there's always like slavery being used to make like technology. That's what the phone and the laptop represent. And then there's I remember Darden Restaurant Group got in trouble for like using slave labor. So I put a shrimp up there because they used to own Red Lobster. And yeah, just like once again, just comparing to modern times, it just reminds me so much of the fact that uh, this kind of stuff still happens, and just the parallels between the writing and today's modern stuff. And then yeah, this was Thoreau really felt like he just literally compared him to Jesus. I thought that was interesting. There's the we're excited from the a plea for Captain John Brown. Okay, thank you.